Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer. Today we're here for yet another Civilization VI Wonder Spotlight, where today we'll be taking a look at one of my personal favorite wonders in the game, the Eiffel Tower. So the Eiffel Tower is a wonder that is unlocked with the steel technology. This does make it the first of the modern era wonders that we'll be covering. To get the Eureka for steel, all that you have to do is build one coal mine in your empire, which is once again something that's very easy to do, and something that you'll probably have done by the time you reach steel, as long as you have at least one source of coal in your empire. As far as its building requirements are concerned, they as well are pretty simple. All you have to do is put it on a flatland tile adjacent to a city center, so you're probably going to have at least one valid location for this wonder anywhere in your empire. And if you are planning on building this wonder, especially if you're going for culture victory, it's generally a good idea to make sure that you have a tile like this in either your capital or one of your second or third cities. That will be pretty strong by the time you reach Eiffel Tower, because its production cost is 1,620, which is, you know, quite a bit, and you're definitely not going to be able to just settle down some random city and build the Eiffel Tower, because it's going to take forever, so you can probably expect to build this in one of the first few cities that you've settled. So let's move on to the bonuses that you're going to get from Eiffel Tower, and this one is pretty simple because there is only one, and that's that it will provide +2 appeal to all tiles in your empire. And at first, if you don't understand appeal, this probably doesn't sound very good, but in reality, this is really good, especially for culture victory, because appeal is the thing that will give tourism to your seaside resorts and national parks. So getting 2 appeal to all tiles in your empire is obviously going to be really good. One thing I should mention is that this doesn't apply to tiles that are more than 3 tiles away from a city center, because that's like the workable tile distance in Civ VI, and the same thing goes with Eiffel Tower. So say something is, on the very edge of your empire, 4 tiles away from a city, it won't get that bonus appeal. But as I mentioned, this is really good for seaside resorts and national parks, because if you have a lot of national parks, then this can get you a huge tourism boost, especially if you have some of the techs or civics that give you additional percentage-based boost to tourism from things like seaside resorts and, well, just across your empire. And now it is that time to give the Eiffel Tower its tier ranking. So if you're new to the series, all that you really need to know here is that these ratings go on a 1 to 5 scale, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and give the Eiffel Tower its overall rating, and for that I think that it deserves a 5. It is generally a really good wonder. So as I had just mentioned before, this wonder is really only good for culture victory, or if you're playing Australia. So as far as its use cases are concerned, there's really just the one, and that's if you're looking to get a massive tourism boost to your national parks and your seaside resorts, because both of those tile improvements, or I don't know if you could really count the national parks as tile improvement, but both of those things will give you tourism based on the appeal of your tiles. So if you have a lot of them throughout your empire, then getting 2 appeal on every single tile will give you a huge boost to your tourism. On top of that, if you have computers or some of the other civics and techs that give you percentage-based bonuses to all of your tourism, then this +2 that you get becomes even a little bit more. The other nice thing here is that this will also stack with Cristo Redentor, which we'll probably talk about in the next video, and it will get doubled with your seaside resorts, so that's 4 extra tourism on all of your seaside resorts, which is also potentially more if you have those civics and technologies, so you can see how this very quickly can make it so that you can get a lot of tourism throughout your game. As far as its difficulty rating is concerned, I think that it deserves a 4. It is generally a wonder that is kind of difficult to build on deity, just because, like a lot of the other wonders, it does have very simple placement requirements, and whenever a wonder has simple placement requirements, the deity AI will place it down pretty much any chance they can get, and they'll probably build it before you. So if this is a wonder that you want to get if you're going for culture victory, then you should probably start rushing towards it fairly early on, and that's something that, especially if you see me playing on stream or in some of the other Let's Play content, that's something that you'll see me do pretty much any time I'm going for a culture victory. So this is a little bit unfortunate, because this is one of those wonders that can be like literally make or break in terms of your culture victory, because in a lot of games you very much need this extra appeal to be able to overcome the culture generation of the AI. So if you are going for a culture game in which you need to build this wonder, I highly advise that you do so, that you get to it pretty fast. And for its consistency rating, I think that it deserves a 3. It is, for the most part, fairly consistent. It's not the most consistent in terms of its usefulness, because, as I mentioned, really it's only useful if you're going for a culture victory or if you're playing Australia, because they get extra yields from tiles with high appeal. So outside of that, there's really no reason to build this wonder. And the other thing is, if you don't have a lot of spots for seaside resorts, then this wonder's effectiveness goes down a bit, or if you're struggling to get out national parks, then once again, this wonder's effectiveness goes down a lot. So for that reason, I think it deserves a 3. Nonetheless though, this is still definitely one of my favorite wonders in the game, and as I mentioned, if you're playing for a culture victory, this is an absolute must get, and I would advise that you build this in pretty much every single game because this can very well make the difference between you winning or losing a culture victory. So thank you everyone for watching. I have been the Saxy Gamer. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you're looking for some more Civilization VI content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.